The people telling you that Erica wasn't grieving her husband are full of shit. Everybody is attacking her over everything, and they're lying about her. And it's one of the most disgraceful things that I've ever seen in public life. And I've seen
evidently anybody that tells you Erika Kirk is not grieving is crazy and full of, according to our Vice President, J.D. Vance. So the Turning Point USA rally at Georgia kind of didn't turn out how they anticipated. First of all, Erika Kirk didn't even show up. I mean, she was terrified for her life, even though Secret Service was there protecting the Vice President of the United States. Erika Kirk wasn't going to be safe there, so she canceled. She let Andrew Coolvet, probably dumbest person on the internet, come in her place.
What you think about that? Some of the people that have made, part-time jobs out of attacking Erica, and this is the net result.
Sure. Well,
hold on, before he starts, he said this is the net result. Like, what's the net result? The fact that you only have 25% of your auditorium full because nobody wants to come out here and listen to this nonsense? Or what? What is he actually even referring to? I'm not really sure. And he never does say.
First of all, I love Erica, and I know that she did get some Tourette's. And, about 2 hours ago, as you know, Andrew, I was a little worried that we were going to have to cancel the event because Erica was not going to come, and she was very worried about it. And I talked to the Secret Service, and obviously these guys do a very good job. And I said, you know what?
The Vice President of the United States of America's security is there to secure the facility. But Erica thought it's not really safe there. I mean, she could come up on the stage of 300, did she say 300,000 people in the audience during Charlie's memorial service, and she was fine doing that. She's fine doing all these other events when there's fireworks and this big to-do about her. But when it's a stadium that's only 25% full, she doesn't want to come out and speak to anybody because she doesn't feel safe. Like, okay, girl. Okay. You'd rather have your security team, the one that let Charlie Kirk get unalived, but the Secret Service isn't good enough. Look, that's just too over the, like, you are not important enough for anybody to come out, get out of bed and come to this event and try to do anything to you, girl. Like, literally nobody cares about you that much. Like, truly.
Let's let Erica do what she needs to do for herself and her family. I'm sure Andrew will fill in. And let's go and make this an amazing event with the Georgia Bulldogs in Athens, Georgia. So absolutely, we're going to do this thing. But look, I mean, in so many ways, when did Charlie die? It was mid-September, I believe. September.
You don't remember when Charlie died? Wasn't he like one of your close friends? You don't remember the day Charlie, like the whole world is talking about September 10th and you don't recall?
And in the past, that's right. It was the day right before September 11th. And in so many ways, the past 6 or so months have been two separate living hells for Erika Kirk. And the first is, of course, that she lost her husband. She lost the father of her children. And I'll never forget this because, I mean, frankly, I think a lot about it because my wife is now pregnant with our fourth baby, is when we went and picked up, thank you. But when we went and picked up Charlie's body in Utah, and of course you were there with us, and I met Erica and I met the family. I mean, I met his parents and his little sister. And I just think about that moment and where she was so broken. And any of you know who anybody who's grieved before is you kind of go from just crestfallen and sad, and then you want to remember the person that you just lost. And there's just this constant flood of emotions, right? At one moment, you're laughing about something they said 2 years ago, and at another moment, you're sobbing because they're not there anymore. And I thought about that moment a lot because Erica told me, and that was the first time she'd ever, told me this. And I guess I thought about it a lot in the context of our own, my wife's pregnancy. She said, I really wish that we had more babies together.
Okay, so let's just get this one little thing straight. I really truly feel what they did not count on was the fact that they kind of forgot that we've all experienced grief, or we know somebody personally who has experienced grief. Grief is an emotion that the entire world shares as one. We all feel that horrible, like just terrible pit in our soul when somebody passes away. You don't start giggling and laughing about something that occurred, 2 years ago, like a week or two after your husband gets unalived in a public, you just don't. That's not even a thing. And for him to sit out here and try to mansplain grief to people who have actually grieved is actually hilarious. Like, I got the biggest kick. I was laughing and yelling at my husband, like, do you believe this? Oh, out here. Listen, we all have eyes. We can all see what's going on. We have pictures of her all across the internet. We have her laying over her husband's body, like literally fondling his dead body in his casket, fake crying with a mic on. And you want us to believe, like, listen, we're not believing it. We're not buying it. You sound absolutely retarded.
And that kind of hit me like, it's just it. He's gone. that was sort of one of the moments where I realized Charlie's not coming back here. And you have this mom who's really sad about the fact that her two little kids may never have memories. I mean, you think about like as a father, I know most of you out there are too young to have kids, but one of the things that you think about as a father is, I want my kids to remember this moment, right? I want my 6-year-old to remember when I took him to the zoo, or my 6-year-old son was just baptized on Easter Sunday, and I wanted to remember that moment with me. And thank you. But so Erica's struggling with this, and of course that's terrible.
Do you believe this asshole's out here mansplaining grief to us right now? Can you please leave a comment down below if this is what you expected out of the Vice President of the United States? Please let me know. Is it just me, or is this over the top? I can't even understand it. I don't even get it right now.
Unspeakable. Most of us cannot even put ourselves in her shoes, while at the same time, she's trying to make sure that Charlie's legacy doesn't die. And in that context, everybody is attacking her over everything, and they're lying about her. And it's one of the most disgraceful things that I've ever seen in public life. And I've seen
I haven't seen very many people actually lying about Erika at all. I have seen reports of different things that she's done, things coming up that look super shady. All of her associates are in some way seem to be connected with, can't say it on YouTube, but trafficking and essaying it's like, it's absolutely disgusting and despicable who she surrounds herself with. So for him to come out here and say people are lying about her, it's absolutely hilarious. That's funny to me. Like, you sound ridiculous, JD Vance. You need to go back home or switch topics stat, because you're losing it, man.
A lot of crazy stuff in my life as a political leader, and I will tell you that the people who tell you, I was there with her, I was holding her hand, my wife was hugging her while we loaded Charlie's body onto Air Force 2 and said the Lord's Prayer. The people telling you that Erika wasn't grieving her husband are full of shit. And we need to be honest about that fact.
Okay, so now he's out here cussing to get his point across, because that's going to really get the point across. Like, he saw it. Like, I mean, JD Vance actually saw. He saw her like holding the tissue and everything. So it has to be true. Right? Come on.
Excuse my language. My wife says I got to work on my language.
The sad thing is across social media, people are reporting on things that they see her do that's strange and weird and sickening and disgusting and don't really seem like normal people things. And so it's her own fault that people are out here saying anything. She could have chosen not to be a public figure. She could have chosen to take her fortune that Charlie Kirk left her and go raise their children. I mean, if you ask me, that's probably what he wanted. He left her a ton of money, made sure the path was clear for her to just take the kids, not have to be in this position to where she's not even safe to go to Georgia to a 25% filled auditorium of students, right? You think Charlie wanted that for her? I doubt it. I really doubt it. And so to hear him like talk about how she has to do this and she has to do that, like, no, she's been out here making her own way and doing her own things. And people are only digging up her information. And if it looks weird and shady and disgusting and disgraceful and despicable, that's because that's the legacy she has left behind and people are finding it. So, if she doesn't want this type of scrutiny, she shouldn't have become a public figure. I really think that her and her team thought that she was going to charm us all like she got away with, charming Charlie Kirk. And that's just not what's happening here at all. The world sees through Erika Kirk. Please don't forget to hit that thumbs up. It does help me out so very much. And I'm trying to reach 1 million subscribers by like the weekend. So please subscribe if you're new. All right, back to the video.
You've been telling me that for 12 years and it still hasn't taken. But the thing is, look, when you become a public figure, the natural thing, and I've talked to Erika about this privately, is a ton of crazy people say a ton of things about you that simply aren't true. But the thing that makes it so egregious with Erika is that she's a grieving person who's trying to carry on her husband's legacy. And look, we all do things that are wrong. If you want to criticize Turning Point USA for not taking this position or having this political disagreement, or maybe you should do this or that, that's all above board. But to say that Erika Kirk wasn't grieving her husband on that day, to say that Erika Kirk was somehow complicit in it is so preposterous and so disgusting. And it's one of the things that has broken, I think, the American public conversation of the last 6 months. I mean,
is this really where we are as a nation, where the Vice President of the United States has to come out here and defend just some random woman and say, she's really grieving, guys? This is so childish and silly and ridiculous. I don't think I've seen anything more like laughable. I feel like other nations are probably laughing at us because of this. Who in the world has to have a public leader come out and defend them? Don't say she's not grieving. You're dumb for saying that. She's really grieving. I seen it. I seen the whole thing. Me and my wife were holding her. We saw it. Like, dude, really? Find something else. Like, you need to switch topics stat, because you're not really winning over anybody here with this nonsense. If anything, you're making us feel even more like she definitely is not grieving, because you're making too big of a fuss about it. If it were me and I was truly grieving my loved one, I wouldn't even notice you out here saying a thing about me. To be honest, I wouldn't give two shits about what you're out here saying. And she gets on TV and says she doesn't care, and then she sends her boy JD out here to tell us all she's really grieving. This just makes it more obvious that you're absolutely not grieving. This was like the biggest flashing red light that you are absolutely full of shit. We've got like the period at the end of the sentence with this one. We really did. This is great. This is absolutely fantastic.
You know, Andrew, we could talk about this for a long time. Charlie's absence, I felt it so many times in so many different ways. There have been so many times.
He like seriously felt it so many times. He just couldn't remember like when he died or anything, but he felt it. He felt it.
Times where I wanted to call Charlie and say, man, you've got to call this person, or man, you've got to put this event together so we can help this candidate, or just to bounce ideas off of as a friend. There have been so many ways in which I felt that void. But one of the ways in which I felt that void is that it's like the response to Charlie Kirk dying. The response to Charlie Kirk getting assassinated by a left-wing furry lover is the response should have been.
This is about the most disgusting thing I've ever seen, because we don't actually know that that happened. This hasn't been proven in a court of law. He shouldn't have been allowed to utter these words, because he's actually showing the world that our judicial system is a joke. It's nothing, because we don't need a trial. We just know this kid did it and that's the end of it. He should be out here saying, allegedly, we don't know yet what is the truth until the court hearing, until we find out if he's proven guilty. This shouldn't even be uttered out of his mouth. And I can't believe he's on a stage and Turning Point USA is flashing behind him. The judge has a gag order on anybody who's affiliated with Turning Point USA saying this kind of stuff. And he's out here sealing this kid's fate. Like, it's a given. We already know he did it, right? This is sickening.
Then let's go after left-wing violence and terrorism. Let's defund the networks of left-wing violence and terrorism. That's what we've been doing in Washington, D.C., and that's what we've been fighting for every single day. You know, Savanah Hernandez, of course, was to Minnesota a couple days ago. I talked to Cash Patel on the way down here, and I said, I assume that we're doing something here. And he said, yes, we've had multiple agents on the ground. We've already talked to Savanah. We're going to use the video to try to go after the people.
Funny how they got all this going for Savanah. Nothing like this for Charlie. We've already figured it out. It's already done. Forget about investigating all these planes and all the cell phones that were in the area and tracing the weapons that we learned about on Candace's show yesterday. All the other things, forget about all that. We're going to really focus the entire Federal Bureau of Investigations on this one little scuffle outside of a building and these idiots who want to stand out there and make a scene fighting each other. Come on. You don't give two shits about finding the truth about Charlie Kirk. This was an absolute, complete and total failure. This is another show. What do you think about this? Please tell me what you guys think. Because is it just me? Like, seriously? No, for real. Like, I can't believe the vice president actually weighed in and said that about Tyler Robinson right there on the stage for the public and the entire world to listen into, proclaiming that the guy's guilty without even having a trial first. It's absolutely disgusting, and it's a disgrace that the vice president of the United States is just, you know, all over our judicial system. Have listened to a little bit about this letter that they just released to the public. It's just not really making much sense. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments, and I'll see you guys on the next one.